The most powerful weapon of mass instruction of all of them is the artificial extension of childhood. Back at the end of the 19th century, and a little before that in Germany, after centuries of trying, the business, the military, the institutional, and the church leadership succeeded for the first time in history in imposing a centralized form of schooling. And while it might be argued that the urge for education is timeless and universal, you can't claim that for compulsory schooling of any sort, at any time, or any place. The only way you can sell that is either at bayonet point or by lying to people about what your intentions are. So there was no public knowledge of the radical utopian strategy that was gradually inserted in these school places. And the most radical of all was the artificial extension of childhood. That's a deliberate lengthening of the period of childish dependency. By 1909, this is very precise now, 4 years had been tacked onto childhood in the United States and similar periods in the other important countries. But in the United States, by 1909, 4 years had been added. Where do I get that very precise figure? From one of the major designers who added the 4 years, so it's pretty impeccable information. By 1960, 10 years had been added to childhood. By 2000, 20 years. In Washington, D.C., a couple of years ago, several very important foundations said that adolescence wasn't over until the age of 32. Now, if you recall this morning, I said adolescence doesn't exist. It was invented in 1902. This spectacular change in the contract with young people reached the point by the year 2000 that divisions of the United States government were publicizing a view that it might be possible to think that adolescence wasn't over until 40. I mean, these weren't, if I say these weren't radicals, they were as radical as anyone ever existed. But just as the U.S. government now is an extremely radical government that calls itself conservative, does anyone you know who is a conservative spend $750 billion more than they earn every year? Is that conservative? Do they attack people who haven't attacked them first? Are these conservative things? These are profoundly radical undertakings. But as Orwell showed in 1984, if you just assert something over and over again, most people say it must be true, or he wouldn't say it.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your shit bare. See how I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark.